First video of the year, so let's talk Golden Globes. Hey there, cinephiles. Today I'm making my predictions for the 2024 Golden Globes. Just the movie side of it, of course. I don't watch nearly enough TV to make even educated guesses for those categories. It's the first of the major award shows for award season. It's also my first video of the year, and I love talking award shows, so it just makes sense to do this. Also, the Golden Globes are this weekend, so timing helps. But alright, we got 15 categories to talk about, so let's get into my predictions and personal picks for the 2024 Golden Globes. The first category we're getting into is a pretty big one, Best Director. The nominees are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Celine Song for Past Lives, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, and Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. Now, my personal pick is obviously Celine Song. She directed my favorite movie of last year. And for this to be her directorial debut, it speaks volumes on where her career is going. As for my prediction, I don't believe she'll win it. Instead, it's going to go to Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is just going to be this massive, massive film for this award season. I can see it winning so many categories, not just in this, but basically every award show. Next up, we have Best Animated Feature. The nominees are The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, The Super Mario Bros. Movie, Suzume, and Wish. My personal pick is Across the Spider-Verse. It's such a wonderful sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, and it's also just flat out one of the year's best films. Not at all to discredit The Boy and the Heron, that's obviously my second pick here, but if I had to pick one, and I do have to pick one, I'm going with Across the Spider-Verse. As for my prediction, I am also going with Across the Spider-Verse. There does seem to be this late push for The Boy and the Heron, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough, at least for the Golden Globes. But honestly, I'd be happy with either of the two winning it. Just as long as it's not Wish or the Super Mario Bros. Movie. They shouldn't even be on this list. Now getting into Best Motion Picture Non-English Language. The nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, Fallen Leaves, Lo Capitano, Past Lives, Society of the Snow, and The Zone of Interest. This is such an easy category for me. Obviously, my personal pick is going to Past Lives, even though I do really like Fallen Leaves. As for my prediction, I am between Zone of Interest and Anatomy of a Fall, and kind of Past Lives, but I think that's the clear third of the three. So if I'm going to pick one of those three films to win it, I think it will be Anatomy of a Fall. But would not shock me if it was Zone of Interest or Past Lives. All right, now getting into Best Original Score. The nominees are Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Poor Things, The Boy and the Heron, Oppenheimer, The Zone of Interest, and Killers of the Flower Moon. My personal pick for this one is between The Boy and the Heron and Oppenheimer. Both have wonderful scores, but going to pick one for myself that I would listen to right now, this might be recency bias, but I'm going to go with The Boy and the Heron as my personal pick, even though I'm sure if you ask me within an hour, it would go to Oppenheimer. Obviously, for my prediction, I'm going Oppenheimer. It's one of the most iconic and best scores of the year, and the movie itself is just going to win so many awards, so this is one that it does deserve too. It would honestly shock me if it didn't go to this. Moving on to Best Original Song, and the nominees are Addicted to Romance from She Came to Me, Dance the Night from Barbie, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, Peaches from the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Road to Freedom from Rustin, and What Was I Made For from Barbie. My personal pick and prediction will go to What Was I Made For from Barbie. Billie Eilish just crafted this wonderful, amazing song that, yeah, it can be heard on its own, but with the context within the film and just the montage in which it's over, I mean, that's the tearjerker moment, you know? It would not surprise me, though, if I'm Just Ken or Peaches won. Peaches, I really hope, does not win. I'm Just Ken. I could see a case made for it, but What Was I Made For is clearly the better song here. Also, just in general, where was any of the Wonka songs? I mean, those were bops. The next category is Best Screenplay. The nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, and Poor Things. My personal pick here is pretty easy, and it's Past Lives, of course. I just think it's such a wonderful story. It's just so real, and it all comes down from the dialogue and just the story choices that go within this. It felt fresh, it felt new, but it also felt real and like I lived it before. As for my prediction, I'm going with my second favorite script here, and that's Poor Things. It's so smart and witty and funny and just encompassing someone's life's journey from quote-unquote adolescence to fully grown human adult. It does so much, and a lot of it works so damn well. There is a whole scene that I would take out, but apart from that, it's so smart and witty, and one of the best scripts of the year so far. But honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if it went to Oppenheimer, Barbie, or just about any other film in this category. This is one of the most stacked categories on this list. Now getting into the first of the many acting categories, Best Supporting Actress. The nominees are Davine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers, Danielle Brooks from The Color Purple, Emily Blunt from Oppenheimer, Jodie Foster from Nyad, Julianne Moore from May December, and Rosamund Pike from Saltburn. My personal pick here is Danielle Brooks from The Color Purple. She stole the entire film for me. I'm not a fan of the movie as a whole, but her performance is something that I knew had to be nominated come Oscar time. As for my prediction, I'm going with my second favorite performance from this category, and that's Davine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers. She honestly was so great in that film. I'd be more than happy if she did end up winning it. Honestly, between Danielle and Davine, both are just great picks, so whichever one ends up winning, I'd be more than happy. As for anyone else here, I just hope Nyad doesn't win a Golden Globe. Now getting into Best Lead Actress from a Musical or Comedy. And the nominees are Alma Poisty from Fallen Leaves, Emma Stone from Poor Things, Fantasia Barrino from The Color Purple, Jennifer Lawrence from No Hard Feelings, Margot Robbie from Barbie, and Natalie Portman from May December. My personal pick here is my favorite performance of the entire year, and that is Emma Stone from Poor Things. The absolute journey that she went through in this film, it blew my mind that it was Emma Stone. It's just one of those performances that makes you completely forget you're watching an actor. Like, sure, I knew it was Emma Stone, but I forgot it was Emma Stone. She was just so good and just fully enveloped herself into the character. And that combined with the utter transformation of the character in the film itself, Emma Stone had to be so completely versatile in this. It's unbelievable. And that's also why she's my prediction for this too. Because I do really think it's between her and some other people in a different category for Best Actress of the Year. But also shout out to Alma from Fallen Leaves. That's actually a really nice nomination to see. And in general, this is a pretty good category. Maybe not for Jennifer Lawrence and No Hard Feelings, but hey, to each their own. Now getting into Best Lead Actress for Drama. The nominees are Annette Bening from Nyad, Kaylee Spaney from Priscilla, Carey Mulligan from Maestro, Greta Lee from Past Lives, Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon, and Sandra Hüller from Anatomy of a Fall. My personal pick here is Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon. I am so sorry, Greta Lee. I love your performance, and you are amazing in this, and you are my favorite movie. But Lily Gladstone is just such a powerhouse, and for as good as a movie as Killers of the Flower Moon is, Lily Gladstone is by far the best part of that film and deserved to have more screen time. She also just has one of the most important performances in the past 3 to 5 years, I'd say. And that's also why she's my prediction to win this. And it's going to be really interesting once we see Lily Gladstone versus Emma Stone for Oscars. Because my goodness, we thought last year was a powerhouse in this category, but Lily Gladstone versus Emma Stone is going to be something for the ages. But once again, I am so sorry, Greta Lee. And also shout out Kaylee Spaney. She should be getting nominated for more things because she is just so wonderful in Priscilla. And now we're getting into Best Supporting Actor. And the nominees are Charles Melton from May December, Mark Ruffalo from Poor Things, Robert De Niro from Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. from Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling from Barbie, and Willem Dafoe from Poor Things. My personal pick and prediction will be going to Charles Melton. This is such a stacked category, but the way I haven't stopped thinking about Charles Melton's performance is absolutely insane. I saw the movie like 2 months ago, and I still cannot stop thinking of the layers and absolute brilliant performance from him. I mean, it's one of those performances that the more you think about it and the more you sit with it, the more heartbreaking and just real it is. And that being said, this is such a strong category that I wouldn't necessarily be upset with almost any of these. The one I would probably have at the bottom is probably Robert De Niro from Killers of the Flower Moon. Like, it's not that he's bad in it by any measure. It's just I've seen him do better, and basically everyone else here, it has been much more memorable. So honestly, I really hope Charles Melton is able to win this and just win every single award that he can, because my goodness, he's just a stunner in this. All right, next category up is Best Lead Actor in a Musical or Comedy. The nominees are Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction, Joaquin Phoenix for Beau is Afraid, Matt Damon for Air, Nicolas Cage for Dream Scenario, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, and Timothée Chalamet for Wonka. This one's one of the easier categories. My personal pick and prediction is Paul Giamatti from The Holdovers. One of my favorite performances of the year, especially when it comes to the lead actor category. In all honesty, no one else here really comes close to his performance. And it has a little bit of everything, so he's just easily winning this category in my mind. But the funniest one to win here would probably be Timothée Chalamet for Wonka. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to it just because, my goodness, he is wonky in that film. Now getting into Best Lead Actor in a Drama. The nominees are Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers, Barry Keoghan in Saltburn, Bradley Cooper in Maestro, Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, Coleman Domingo in Rustin, and Leonardo DiCaprio in Killers of the Flower Moon. This is definitely a stronger category than the musical or comedy lead actor one, but my personal prediction and pick are the same in this one as well, and that's Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. It would not shock me if Bradley Cooper was the one to win here, but I think Cillian Murphy just has so much of a better performance than him. Not that Bradley Cooper is bad or anything, but Cillian Murphy just carries that film from the haunting eyes that he has in that. And just what he's able to do with these minute facial expressions and just the charisma and journey that he goes through in Oppenheimer. I mean, it's so much focused on him. I know it's named after him, but there's so much that just weighs on his shoulders, and it's amazing. And with Oppenheimer being one of the bigger films of the year, there's just so much going for Cillian Murphy. So that's why he's my personal pick and prediction. Now getting into Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. The nominees are Air, American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, May December, and Poor Things. Before I give my personal pick and prediction, are we sure May December is a comedy or musical? I don't remember any musical numbers, and it's definitely not funny as a whole. Like, sure, it's satirizing Lifetime movies technically, but it's still not a comedy. But anyways, getting into my personal pick and prediction, it's the same one this time again, and it's Poor Things. In my eyes, Poor Things is easily the best made and just best film of this category. Earlier on, I predicted that it's going to win Best Picture at the Oscars, so if it's going to do that, it's got to start picking up some Best Pictures and other award shows, and now's its time to do so. Second to last category, we got Best Motion Picture, Drama. The nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Past Lives, The Zone of Interest, Maestro, and Oppenheimer. Obviously, once again, my personal pick is going to be Past Lives. It's a movie that I love so much. It's one of my favorite films, not just of this year, not just of this decade, but of all time. So I will be rooting for this so much. As for my prediction, I'm going to go with Oppenheimer here. I mean, it's going to be that or Killers of the Flower Moon, but I think so much weight is behind it right now for Oppenheimer. It just seems like a bulldozer for the rest of its competition. And finally, we have a category that I don't think needs to exist in the slightest, but it's a new one, so we'll talk about it, I guess. And that is Cinematic and Box Office Achievement, whatever that means. And the nominees are Barbie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, John Wick Chapter 4, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie. My personal pick here is going to be just my favorite movie of the bunch, which is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. As for my prediction, I'm going to go with the Taylor Swift The Eras Tour movie. I know it's a new Golden Globe, supposedly, with a new branding and a new, just standard, I guess, because of all the controversy in its past and just literally uprooting and changing ownership of the Golden Globes itself recently. But with this category, it makes me a little bit worried that they are still going very we want the celebrity to be here, so more eyes are on us. So I guess I'm just going with Taylor Swift because they would want Taylor Swift to go up on that stage and actually say something and get more eyeballs to watch the show. But I don't know. This category just feels like, hey, have you won a lot of money? Here's an award. I don't know what this means. Wouldn't just the highest grossing film win this? And it already has by being the highest grossing film of the year. I don't know what this category is, and I don't care about it as much, but whatever. But alright, those are my personal picks and predictions for the 2024 Golden Globes. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, drop your own predictions down in the comments because I do want to compare notes. I know the Golden Globes are this weekend, so we'll know soon enough who's right and who's wrong. But alright, be sure to follow us on our socials. As always, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Be sure to stay tuned for more Yeti Films content, and I'll watch you later.